All right, y'all. So this morning, I was minding my business, going down a rabbit hole, and I came across a video about boring side hustles. Now, listen, we're not talking about sexy side hustles, not make $10,000 by next Tuesday side hustles, or making money while you sleep side hustles. These are really boring side hustles, right? And of course, like I said, I went down a complete rabbit hole. I was supposed to just be looking up how to become a notary, an online notary or a mobile notary. That's kind of what I was looking for. But as you know, you may or may not know, I am moving to Panama. And right now, you can't be a notary in the United States and live outside of the United States. You have to actually live, I think you have to live in the state, or they can live anywhere, but you have to live in the state in which you are a notary. So that's not going to work for me. However, the whole thing kind of got me thinking about different things. Like there's so many women in their 40s, their 50s, even their 60s who are thinking, I need to make some extra money, right? But I don't want another full-time job. Maybe you're starting over, maybe you're retiring, maybe you just want to travel and do some more things, right? Maybe you want more freedom from whatever's holding you bondage or what holding you captive, right? Or maybe you just looked at your bank account and said, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I need a little bit more. This is not gonna work for me. We need another stream of income. So I started looking, I got my notes here, so bear with me. I started looking at some of those side hustles that people were talking about that nobody really, other people don't really talk about, right? And I found some pretty good ones, right? If I say so myself, right? Some are boring, some aren't boring. Depends on your level of what's boring, right? And a couple of them had me thinking, wait a minute, should I be doing all of this? Like this seems to be a little easy. So sit back, listen. I'm gonna go over all of them, at least 7 of them right now, and we can kind of see what works for you. All right. So here we go. The first one, like I said, is a mobile notary. It's a loan signing agent. There's a difference, right? So you can be a mobile notary, which is just helping people sign legal documents, right? Whoever they need something notarized, right? You would go to them or they can come to you, whatever. But a signing agent is one who specializes, they're notary, but they specialize further in real estate or mortgage documents, closing documents, right? So it's a little different than just a standard notary. You have to be a signing agent, right? Listen, it's flexible. There's flexible appointments. It's relatively low startup. You just have to go get your notary. And you're providing an actual service that people need, right? Listen, the amount you make it's going to vary tremendously depending on your state and the type of appointment you have, right? The area, your market, and whether you're doing basic notarization or if you are doing specialized signing work, as in real estate or mortgage documents, right? And again, like I told you guys, I went down this rabbit hole because I thought I got to do something extra when I get to Panama. This would be good because I'm familiar with real estate, familiar with mortgages, all that because I am a realtor, 26 years. But again, you have to be in that state. You have to be a notary in the state that you are authorized to be a notary. The people can come from anywhere, but you have to physically live and be in that state. Now, how do you start this particular side hustle? You look up your state's Secretary of State, the Notary Commission, and the requirements for that first, and then investigate the training, the background. I don't think it's very difficult. The background check requirements, all of that, especially if you want the specialized signing work, okay? But that rabbit hole led me to number 2. Field inspections and property inspection gigs, right? This is not being a licensed home inspector, right? Companies need people to physically verify things like property occupancy, exterior condition, photos, address, signage, business locations, and or collateral. Sometimes the assignment is essentially drive there, take the required photos, answer a checklist, and submit. That's it. Let me tell you why I find this interesting and why I think this would work for some of you. As a realtor, I already drive around looking at houses all day, every day, right? I just got back from an appointment this morning. I didn't realize there was an entire category of what they call gig work, right? Simply surrounded by verifying properties and information. It really is that simple. It's great for someone who, for example, doesn't mind driving, wants a flexible assignment work base. Listen, here's the important part. Pay does vary considerably by assignment. You can make $20 here, $2,000 here. So it just varies by assignment and who's paying you, right? It varies by the assignment and the location. So you need to calculate your gas, you need to calculate mileage and time before you accept certain jobs. Number 3, a professional organizer and downsizing assistant. Now, I probably couldn't do this, but I certainly need one. Okay. But anyway, this is especially interesting for women in their 40s and 50s and above, right? People who are overwhelmed by stuff. Families that are clearing their parents' homes who have passed and gone on, right? Now you got to clear the home before you sell it. People who are moving. Hello, me. Divorces, estate transactions and transitions, busy professionals, people who just don't have time to do the organization that needs to be done, right? I knew a friend of mine, she organized people's pantry. She created shelves for them and she organized the pantry perfectly, right? She never got to mine, but that's irrelevant. That's totally irrelevant. She did do that. So it is a job that people need because people outsource that type of work, right? These people will pay someone to help them get and stay organized. You sort, you organize, you decide what stays, you decide what goes, you coordinate donations, you prepare for the movers. Listen, looking at this desk right now, I promise you, I need an organizer. It is not something that I can do for anybody else, right? I just cleaned my desk 5 minutes before I started this video, and yet here we are again. So somebody watching this, however, loves organizing other people's stuff. So that's why this is number 3, and it is a perfect gig for you. You don't necessarily need a storefront. You don't need inventory. You might need a little bit of cleaning supplies, but start locally. Establish clear services and pricing and get references and build referral relationships with realtors, senior move professionals. These are people that you can kind of work for, estate sale companies, and our movers, right? And speaking as a realtor, as a broker, I have been for 26 years. I know people, we know people, realtors know people who need this service. Perfect. Number 4, pet sitting or house sitting. I kind of almost need that too. But anyway, listen, you might say, I don't want to do that. Don't dismiss it. People pay for dog walking. People pay for drop-in visits, right? People pay for overnight pet sitting. People pay for house sitting. People pay for extended stays, right? Listen. Everybody who knows me knows that I have Kingsley. He is a 70-pound lab pit who follows me everywhere I go. He is sitting under my feet right now. No, I think he left. But anyway, he does follow me everywhere I go for the most part. Listen, I'm very particular about who I'm going to leave my baby with, right? I need somebody trustworthy. I need somebody honest. I need somebody mature. I need a dependable pet sitter. Right? Every time he goes to, he's here. Every time he goes to the kennel, when I go for extended periods, 5 days or more, he goes to the kennel. And here's the problem with the kennel. He always comes home with kennel cough. Well, not always. He did it twice. But that's not the point. If he's in his own environment and all somebody has to do is come in, let him out, walk him, feed him, play with him for a little bit, I would gladly pay for that, right? You could start independently, work through referrals. You could explore pet care platforms. I think one is called Rover. You can explore some of those places, while you can check the local licensing if you have to have what insurance and tax requirements. Here's the bigger niche: travel house pet sitting. You can go and travel to someone's house. I know somebody, well, okay, I don't actually know them. It was somebody I saw on, I think it was Hawaii 5-0, but that's not the point. I know it's a real thing. They travel to other people's homes, and this is what they do. And they stay in the home while those people are on vacation or extended businesses, right? Some of these arrangements involve accommodations, or in addition to, or rather than cash. So you explain what you need. You need to house sit because you need to stay somewhere. You want to go on vacation. You want to go to Hawaii. Reach out. Listen, it is a perfect side gig. That's why it's number 4. For somebody who loves animals and you want to travel, that might be a rabbit hole that's worth you exploring. Number 5, senior concierge or personal assistant services. Now listen, this is not medical caregiving. You're helping independent older adults with everyday life, helping them run errands. You run errands for them, grocery runs, technology help. Listen, I'm in that category. I'm a senior. I'm almost 60. There are some things that I can't do on this here computer, internet. So there are people who need technology help, people who need appointment organization, people who need mail sorting, right? People who are waiting on need someone to wait on repair people, right? People who have light household coordination or organization. You could mix 2 businesses, right? Maybe accompanying them to doctor's appointments or shopping, or helping them, again, organize paperwork, right? Listen, there are adult children who live 3 states away. People have children who live on the other side of the country or live in another country, right? They live away from mom and dad, and they would gladly pay someone else, trustworthy to, in their eyes and ear, to be their eyes, their ears, and their helping hands locally. I know I would have. When my mother was living, if I had known that this existed, I was in 3 states. She was in Wisconsin, and I don't know how many states it is, and I was in North Carolina. And it was a lot, right? It was a lot to try to get. Now, my sister was there, but she has 3 kids, and so it was a lot challenging, right? We made it work. But had I known that this type of gig existed, that would have been perfect. I would have gladly paid someone to kind of fill in when my sister could, right? Listen, now, you don't want to present yourself as providing medical care, transportation, financial management, or any other regulated service unless you are properly qualified and insured for those things, right? But a well-defined non-medical concierge service, absolutely worth doing. Very interesting, right? Especially for someone mature, reliable, organized, and good with elderly people. All right. Number 6. This is a fun one. I would love this one. Mystery shopping or auditing. Wait, before somebody scams you, I remember all those mystery shopping things and you pay to be a part of that, blah, 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 blah. That was all a scam. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking legitimate mystery shopping does exist. Scams also exist. That's a fact, right? Businesses hire shoppers and auditors to evaluate the customer's experience or verify that those things are in the store, right? You might be asked to visit a location, observe the service, the customer service, check the displays and the pricing, make a small purchase, right? You might be asked to take photos, take pictures, complete a report. But let me just say this. Never, ever pay somebody a big upfront fee just for the privilege of becoming a mystery shopper. And listen, be extremely suspicious of fake check schemes. All of those things matter, and you have to be mindful of them. But legitimate mystery shopping and shoppers do exist. How do I know? I used to work for a builder. They had mystery shoppers come in there all the time to see if we were hitting all the points. Why do you want to buy a home? Why do you want to be in this neighborhood? Let me help you. What is your must-have? What is it? What is a deal breaker for you? Right? We had to ask all of those questions in succession, and so they had mystery real estate shoppers who came in to just do that. And that was a legitimate business, right? Now, this is probably not going to make most people rich doing that. This is just side hustle money. None of this is letting you go retire on the beach in Maui. None of this. This is just extra money, kind of pulling stuff together till whatever, right? It is a supplemental, flexible income. And it's worth knowing that it even exists, right? So, number 7, here's the last one. This is the what do people already ask you for business. This is perfect, right? This isn't one specific job. It's a question. What do people already come to you for? Maybe everybody calls you when they need a resume fixed, or a trip planned, or a closet organizer, a party coordinated, a house decorated, right? A document explained in detail, technology figured out, right? A senior parent that needs help, right? A meal prepared, right? I saw a business the other day. This is not a part of the list, but I want to say this too. Medicaid or Medicare pays people, they pay you very well to prepare meals for people. Kind of like an individual Meals on Wheels. You have to look and see what that would entail, but it's a service, right? People come to you to solve problems. Some of us are sitting, literally sitting on businesses, right? Because we've been doing something for free for far too long. You've been doing something for free for everybody you know for the past 20, 30, 40 years, right? At 40, 50, and even 60, you're not starting from scratch. You're not. You have decades of skills, experience, relationships, and things you know how to do. The side hustle might not be something you need to learn, right? It might be something you need to finally charge for, right? It might be something you need to finally charge for, right? So now I want to know, which one would you actually try of those 7? I'm going to be back with 7 more tomorrow. But which one would you actually try if you were able to do it now, right? And if you have some weird or boring side hustle or random side hustle that nobody ever talks about, put it in the comments, right? Because apparently this is my new rabbit hole, but put it in the comments, because what we don't do here on Lip Gloss Coffee and a Word, oh, I forgot to tell y'all that's who I was. But anyway, what we don't do here is gatekeep. Starting over doesn't always mean blowing up your whole life. It doesn't mean getting yourself together to go to Panama. That is not what it always means. Sometimes it starts with one idea, one extra stream of income, or finally realizing that something you've been doing for nearly your whole life for free is actually has value, right? If you're a woman trying to figure this thing out, trying to figure out what's next, especially after 40, especially after 50, especially after 60, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about starting over. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about travel. We're going to talk about how to get your pet from the United States to Panama. If anybody has any ideas, put them in the comments, because I'm kind of stressed about that part. We're going to talk about life, right? And apparently boring side hustles. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for joining. This is Lip Gloss, Coffee, and a Word.